Hello everybody, welcome back to another video. Today we are playing once again the one and only Ace Academy. But before I do begin though, so I want to possibly get into a interesting game that I've been looking into recently, a little bit lately, and see if you guys are interested into it. It's very much so like League of Legends and very much so like Summoner's War. I'm not sponsored by them, to be honest with you. I don't really expect any sponsors whatsoever anytime soon. But that game will be Dungeon Hunter Champions. I'm thinking about possibly playing this game as well on the channel, maybe not, to make up for not being able to play games like Summoner's War and everything. A lot of good stuff due to the fact that I can't do, Summoner's War and, let's see here, Soda Dungeon. So, Dungeon Hunter Champions is a combination of many games all in one. The two of them that I do know about would be Summoner's War and League of Legends. The 5v5 is League of Legends, while the rest of the stuff I've done so far being Dungeons, the Blitz I think as well. I'm not really sure about co-op. The special events are like secret dungeons or whatever, very similar to Summoner's War, but most of the stuff so far I've seen is very similar to Summoner's War. The arena is very similar to Summoner's War, but the 5v5 though, that is very much so like a League of Legends. So if you like either League of Legends or if you like Summoner's War and you want some bit new different stuff and like different characters and everything, I would highly recommend you play Dungeon Hunter Champions. It's a very good combination between the two. There's a lot of really cool characters. It's very new. I think it's about like a month old maybe. I don't know. Probably not a month old, like maybe 3 weeks old or something like that. But there is a lot of monsters in the game that is super cool, super new, super fun game. I highly recommend if you want to play it. It is a MOBA, so you can what you can do is you can play the game, like you can control the characters and tell them what you want them to do, or you can have it do auto mode or whatever and everything. It's really cool. It also comes in both the games, like you can play it on like the iPad or phone or whatever, stuff like that, but you can also play it on the computer, which I am currently right now. It's easier for me to play on the computer. But I think it's a really cool game. If you guys want to check it out, go ahead. And if you guys want to watch videos on it so you know what it's like, I will possibly making videos on it, as well as Schizophrenic Gamer. Highly recommend you watch his channel as well. He's a funny, weird guy. I love his channel. He's been playing games for a lot longer than me, for YouTube and everything. That's the person Schizophrenic Gamer is the one who showed me this game and Summoner's War. So anyways, if you want to check that out, go ahead. It's an awesome game. So let's get right into the actual game we're going to be playing. Ace Academy. We're going to be continuing from where we left off. Let's see here. I think it was this one. Alright. I think this is it. Cars whip by as I approach the bus shelter. There are a few people waiting. I plunge my hands into my pockets and I lean against the shelter to wait. A sharp squeal of brakes announces the bus's arrival. A few people trickle off the bus, and I fumble in my bag for my ID. As I enter, I tap my ID on the scanner, which responds with an affirmative beep. Without waiting for me to find a seat, the bus jerks to start, nearly knocking me over. There aren't too many free seats available, so I stumble unsteadily towards the back of the bus. As I glance around, I notice that the majority of passengers are wearing Ace Academy uniforms. That's comforting, I suppose. There's a free seat beside a girl my age. She stares intently out the window. Whoopsie. She stares intently out the window and sits with her back uncomfortably straight. Her uniform lacks teal stripes. I can't read apparently right now. I guess she's not a pilot. She seems pretty cute, so I wonder why there's an empty seat beside her. Maybe she's not that friendly. Meh, I'll take my chances. It'd be nice to know at least one person from Ace Academy. I'll find another spot. I think I'm gonna sit with her. I fall ungracefully into the seat next to hers. We sit in silence as I muster the courage to speak with her. Eventually she shifts uncomfortably under my gaze and clear my throat. You go to Ace Academy too? I mentally slap myself for choosing such an idiotic question. Obviously, she does. That was one of the first things I noticed. To my surprise, she smiles warmly at me. If you guys wondering why I'm laughing a little bit right now, it's because this reminds me so much of me. Like every time I do this scene, or if I play this game, he reminds me so much of me. Because yes, I do some pretty stupid stuff. Hopefully you guys heard her. But anyways, this is Yuna Misaki. She is one of the characters that is pretty important along the storyline, depending on the actions I do. You'll get to know her quite a bit. She gestures at my uniform.
You're in the pilot program? I heard it's very competitive and difficult to get into.
Yes. Nah, it was easy. It just needs hard work. Yeah. I think anyone can make it as long as they try. She gives me a polite smile. Right. I didn't catch which program you're in, or your name for that matter. I'm Lushen Kurosaki.
I'm Yuna Misaki. I'm studying PHPT.
Oh, well, will you shut up there? PHPT?
Pilot Health and Physiotherapy.
Before I can ask anything else, the bus grinds to a stop.
Ace Academy.
I hop off the bus and Yuna follows suit. The roar of the departing bus does not dampen the student chatter. Yuna pulls out her phone and checks her schedule. Ask where her class is. I have to run, so I'll ask her where her class is. So, what's your first class?
Introduction to Psychology.
Psychology?
Mental health is just as important as physical health. That class is...
She points to her over her shoulder towards a towering building in the distance.
All the way over there. What class do you have?
I check my own phone. Piloting 101.
Oh, you're first year?
No, second. The credit wasn't accepted when I transferred.
Oh, I see. Well, welcome to Ace Academy.
Thanks.
Well, if there's anything you need help with, or if you have any questions, feel free to ask. I pretty much know this campus inside out.
See if she knows how to get... Yeah, I thought it dawns on me. Actually, do you know where I can get a parking permit?
I do. I can take you there now, actually, since I have some time before class starts.
Great, that helps a lot. Thanks.
Of course. Follow me.
Yuna weaves through the throng of students, and it takes most of my concentration not to lose her. If I do mispronounce something like this word or whatever, I'm not very good with pronouncing words sometimes. Some words, I don't know. I'm a human being. If I say something wrong, it triggers you, I'm terribly sorry. But I doubt there's anyone in my audience that will be triggered by that. Hopefully. You probably will laugh at me, but that's probably it. Hopefully. Because even I laugh at myself. It's fun. I understand if you laugh at me. Yeah, laugh me. That makes sense. Anyway. I noticed the number of students lounging around the front lawn. I assume those are the upperclassmen, the ones who are used to university workings. The students with worried eyes, moving somewhere between a walk and a jog, must be the first years. Eventually, we pause in front of a grand building, which looks just like the ones we passed. I stare. I thought that said store. I don't know why that was the store, but I stare hard at it, trying to find a way to distinguish it from the others. Yuna watches me.
Is everything okay?
Huh? Oh yeah.
Then let's go inside.
Sure. After sneaking one last look, I follow Yuna inside. She takes me through a series of hallways before pausing in front of a door marked Campus Administration. We both reached for the door at the same time, but I'm past her. She smiles as I hold the door for her.
Oh, thank you.
What would have been a spacious office is instead crowded with irritated students. Only one person mans the desk, and he does not look like someone who is particularly unaccommodating. Yuna points at the row of chairs against the wall.
I'll wait for you over there.
Thanks. Hopefully it doesn't take too long. If it does, feel free to leave. I don't want you to be late.
Don't worry, I have some time.
She smiles reassuringly before heading over to the seats. I stand in line. As I crane my neck to see the front of the line, I catch the scowl on an administrator's face. He shakes his head, but the student continues to argue with him. This is going to take a while.
Next.
The line crawls at a steady pace, and after what seems like forever, I finally walk up to the counter. Hi, I need a parking pass for a motorcycle.
You'll have to fill out your request online, which you can access through your web link. Approval takes about 1 to 2 weeks, and if approved, a physical pass will be mailed to you.
Before I can respond, he looks past me.
Next.
Hold on. I plant my hand firmly on his desk. He scowls at me.
What?
So this is where like the different like things come like to roll. Like, you know, the three options we had being like the physical, the learning, and the like leader or whatever. If we chose like the leader one where we understand people, we get like an option that allows me to like have a better chance. Like, so I would get a fourth option here that says like that gives me 100% chance to like get him to agree. But since I don't have that, since I'm not like a person that understands people and like, you know, that can like, you know, communicate better, I guess, in a way, or understand people and understand what's like how to like kind of get them to do like, I don't know, like kind of what like Yuna does. Like, she helps understand people and she helps people. If I went in that route, then I could get the fourth option to do that, but I cannot. So these three are of course not gonna work. So the only way to do it is by going down the route of, you know, the psychology route or whatever when you first begin. So this is another one of those moments where I wish I had thought before speaking. He waits for me to finish, but I can see the impatience building in his eyes. It's now or never. That's such a complicated process for something so simple. There must be an easier way. The man taps the desk with his finger.
There isn't. If you have an issue with this process, you could send a complaint online.
It's just a bike pass.
I don't have time for this.
He tries to look around me, but I block him. Come on! I hold his gaze just when I think he's about to give in. His expression hardens.
Nope. Next!
I sigh in resignation. There is no getting through to him, so I turn around and start to head out. Suddenly, Yuna is beside me. Her smile falters when she sees my face.
Is everything okay?
I shrug. I wasn't able to get past. She frowns, her eyebrows knit delicately together.
Hold on.
She walks straight to the desk. Much to the dismay of the student in line, the man seems nervous by her approach. I can't hear what she says, but he looks ashamed and withdraws the pass from a drawer. As she plucks the pass from his fingers, she thanks him with a slight bow of her head, which he returns. That could have been the outcome if we chose a leader route or whatever. So that's one of the possible things. Like, so those three routes really affect what happens, like what options you are given and everything like that. Of course, the one I chose helps a lot more in classes and everything, and I'll show that when we get to the class. Yuna returns with a soft smile on her face and holds out the pass.
Here you go.
How on earth did she do that? Maybe she used magic. Or those hypnotic eyes of hers. Right, the pass. Oh yeah, thanks. She smiles.
No problem at all.
I take it from her and put it in my wallet. As we head out, we head out as another flood of students enter the office. There seem to be fewer students milling around outside and more hurrying towards classes. I check the time, 25 minutes until class starts.
Do you know where your first class is?
Yeah, it's here. I show her the campus map on my phone. A small flashing light indicates where I need to be.
Oh, that's close by. I can walk there with you.
That would be great. As we head down one of the narrower paths, it leads to a regal-looking building with tall, arcing windows. Only a few students are meandering about.
This is it.
Thanks. You've been really... Excuse me. Thanks. You've been a big help.
It's no problem at all.
And you're off to psychology?
Mm-hmm.
What other classes do you have this semester? She pulls out her phone and I do the same, and we study each other's schedule.
Well, it looks like we have history of robotics together on Friday.
I guess that means we'll be seeing a lot more of each other. We exchange smiles. I notice the time on my phone, 15 minutes until class. My class is starting soon. Yuna peers at her phone before tucking it back into her pocket.
Oh, right. I have to go or I'll be late. See you Friday?
I nod and we go our separate ways. After a few steps, I realize I don't have any way to contact her apart from our Friday class. I turn around, but she's already a good distance away. So this is what happens. There are points where you get a certain time limit. Like, you'll get like 5 seconds or whatever, to pick between like multiple choices. This is very important and down the road for future things. I think that the athletic also, it's a really big part of it, and most of because there is points of combat which will make more sense down the road. but when you get in points of combat, like, what'll happen is you'll get the same thing, and I think that the athletic helps with that. Like, it'll make the time limit like longer or slower or something like that, so you get more time to look at the choices, so you have to react as quickly. And they do go by faster as well, I'm pretty sure. Wait, Yuna. She freezes. Also, if you do not reply in those 4 seconds or so, it will pick for you. And I'm pretty sure it's always the one, like, so if we had a choice of asking for her number, or if we had a choice to just let it go, if you ran out of those 4 seconds, you would, what you would do is just kind of like, it's fine. Or what would happen is that she's, like, already, like, away, so you can't, like, she would be out of the distance. Like, she's, like, gone, kind of thing, so you can't really get her number at that point. That's what would happen, which would make common sense. You only get, like, a certain time to decide to, like, do this or that before they're gone, which makes sense, as I said. It's a really cool thing this game has. She freezes.
Yes?
Do you think they get your number? She seems surprised. Wait, that definitely didn't come out right. Sorry, I mean, I might have a question or two while I'm trying to navigate around Ace Academy, and I could use your help. That is, if you don't mind me bugging you. And that's why I did that. This will greatly help as well if, I'm just kind of trying to use common sense here. Like, as a person, like, if I was in his situation, I would do the same thing. It's common sense to do that. No other reason. Excuse me. No other reasons, if you know what I mean. No, I'm just kidding. No, I'm just joking around. It's a terrible joke, though. She giggles and nods.
Sure.
Kawaii. Excuse me. I jog over and we exchange numbers. Thanks. See you Friday.
Okay, see you then.
I watch as she disappears around the corner. Time to start classes. I take a deep breath, steeling my nerves, and firmly push open the doors to the auditorium. After a quick scan of the room, I select a seat near the back. I can tell this is a first-year introductory class, based on how spread out the students are and how quiet the room is. I hate that I have to take intro classes again. Some of my electives from CINY did not encompass the full scope of the course material, whatever that means. I hush blankets the auditorium as a man strides to the front of the room.
Good morning. This is Piloting 101. Is everyone where you are supposed to be?
The professor waits patiently as a handful of students shuffled towards the nearest exit. I yawn and watch them leave with disinterest. He drags a webpage from his tablet to the screen behind him. And yes, this is a future, if you couldn't tell. It's a very futuristic kind of visual novel. So it's kind of this normal stuff.
This is the class web link. Consider this portal as your lifeline for the course. You will find all your assignments and readings here, as well as your current grade in the course. You can find my contact information in the tab marked Contact. My office hours are listed, so please do not hesitate to stop by. Even I get lonely at times, and I appreciate visitors.
The comment got a couple of weak chuckles from the room. So this is where intelligent matters. So if you do not get the intelligent or whatever, you wouldn't get this option. So either he is thorough or this is boring. And neither of them are they're both the same thing, kind of thing. Like, you're an average student, he is thorough, you kind of do mid, like you get like a B or something like that in the class kind of thing. And this is boring, you get like a C or whatever kind of thing. But with the intelligent, though, you get the third option of memorize the information, meaning that you get like an A+ or whatever, like you do extremely well in this class. This really helps with getting a better grade in the classes and everything. That's Like, this is for, like, knowledge and school and everything. That's what, like, the intelligent thing is for, and it's very helpful for certain options, as the other two are, of course. They all have their different importances, but each of them, like, have different roles, so it depends on kind of, like, what role you think you would fit in. I'm not much of a person that, I'm not very athletic, is my thought. I can understand people somewhat in my personal life, but I'm more of, like, an academic kind of person. So that's why I chose the academic, like, intelligent kind of, like, route. So if you can choose whichever one you want to do, if you ever do play this game, which is a very, very fun game. All the routes, all the dating, like, people you can date is amazing. I love the game, the plot, or not the game, like the plot of the thing, like, everything's awesome about it. It's a short visual novel, but it's an awesome one. I would highly recommend you get it off of Steam. I think it's like only $5 or something like that. Maybe 10, I don't know. I can't remember, but I would definitely replay this so many times and do, like, every single route if I had the time to. But anyways, we're gonna memorize information. Ah, crap. There you go. Automatically store the information into my memory.
Now that we've gotten all the boring stuff out the way, I'm sure you're all eager to learn more about the qualifier exams on Friday.
The class visibly perks up.
The qualifier exam will not only register you as an active pilot, but will also provide you with your team ranking. I'm sure you've already picked out your teams by now, but I'd still like to remind you all that each team must have a minimum of 4 people in order to qualify.
A hand shoots up from the middle of the room.
Yes?
Are you sure exams are this Friday? That only gives us 2 days to find a team.
Soft snickers fill the room. The student visibly shrinks from all the eyes focused on him.
The majority of students who began their first year here at Ace Academy are aware of the timeline for the qualifier exams and use their summers to form a team and prepare. In the past, we had extended the preparation time before the exam, but found that the majority of students did not need nor want the extra days, so we adjusted our schedules accordingly.
But what about those of us who didn't know about the qualifier ahead of time? What do we do?
I suggest you get to work finding yourself a team. Any other questions?
The student scowls but shakes his head.
Good. The qualifier exam will pit your team's starting 4 against 4 AI gears. You will then be assigned a ranking based upon your overall performance relative to the other teams. Don't worry if you can't defeat all the AI gears. They are programmed to be extremely difficult to beat. Please ensure your gear is in pristine condition for battle. All exams are demonstrated live instead of in a simulator to most accurately gauge ability. Any questions?
He is answered with silence.
Let's get started then.
Okay. So that's our first class.
Please check the web link for your assignment and have them complete for the next class. Welcome to Ace Academy. I hope you all have a great rest of the day.
So that was the end of our very first class. We get a little introduction of future problem, as you probably noticed. Our main character did not know about this, and he does not have a team, as you probably suspect. So that's going to be a small problem for the main character here, if you did not notice that. A thunder of chairs scrape against the floor as students file out of the class. Those who remain chat animatedly in small groups. Yawning, I wait for the crowd in front of the door to thin before making my way out of the room. Once I'm by the door, a snippet of nearby conversation catches my attention.
Hey, did you see what they brought into the hangar today?
Yeah, that ancient-looking thing? I'll be amazed if it still works. Where the hell do you even find something like that? I bet they fished it out of the ocean.
Ow, that hurts. The students laugh loudly. I have a sinking feeling I know what they're talking about. As I hurry out of the classroom, I check my phone and I'm excited to see an email notification. I eagerly read it through the email. It's just a note letting me know my gear was registered, and now I have access to the hangar. Hold on a second. I'm gonna turn on my fan here. If you guys hear a little bit of buzzing in the background, don't worry about that. There we go. Everything's falling right now. My computer's getting really hot right now, so I'd rather not have that happen. So, there we go. If you guys hear in the background, don't worry about it. Just kind of let my